Nobody puts WellsMania in the corner except for my wife. You are now running wild with the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world, WellsMania Podcast. I am your host, the Kyle Wells, aka WellsMania. And yes, the backdrop is a little different because this, which used to be the WellsMania studio, is being turned into my son's bedroom. That's right. For those that have no idea, I am about to become a dad here in October. So that's why you should go to brainbustertees.com and buy all the WellsMania merch, because all the proceeds will go to buying my son diapers and a whole bunch of other baby stuff. So when you are running wild supporting WellsMania, you literally are supporting my wife and my son, who will be here very, very soon. This right here, episode 184 of WellsMania Podcast. And joining me is a very special guest, friend of the WellsMania Podcast, and arguably the greatest co-host to ever co-host WellsMania. He is the one, the only Stone Payne Productions. What's up, Payton? Good to see you, brother.
Yep. Cue Eric Bischoff's music.
I'm back and better than ever. You see, that's why I come in raw to WellsMania, because I would get flagged by copyright protected music.
Yeah, no, I think you're safe. I don't think you're going to get flagged for those vocalizations.
If anything, people probably just stopped listening or watching this episode of WellsMania. But that's the entertainment that we bring on the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world. You never know when I'm going to bust out in tune, and who knows, Payton might sing a song when hell freezes over.
That will never happen. But no, it's good to be back. It's been a few weeks, been about a month. Lot has happened. Lots been going on. I just got back from Atlanta, was at Saturday night's main event in the Great American Bash. Did not stick around for Evolution, but I did make it back home in time to watch Evolution. It was an action-packed weekend of wrestling.
Yeah, it was fully loaded with wrestling, and you've been a traveling man. I feel like you have been here and there and everywhere in between, in a galaxy far, far away. How you doing on the Star Wars cans, the Coke cans, by the way?
I now have 3 of them, 1 Darth Maul, and 2 of them, thanks to you. I have Kylo Ren and Yoda. So 3 down. I don't 48 to go. I don't know. There's a lot of them.
Collect them all, you will.
It's going to be hard to do, man, because they've made it so hard to get all of them, because every pack only has 1 type of can in it. So
right,
it is going to be difficult.
They are wanting you to spend your money.
Yeah, definitely.
So for anybody out there watching, and if you do have any Star Wars Coke cans that are unopened, feel free to tweet at Stone Payne Productions or follow Payton on his TikTok and help him out. Let's help Payton collect all 32 of the Star Wars Coke cans. And Payton, it's very nostalgic because it reminds me of 1999, the summer of 1999, when Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, came out, and the Mountain Dew, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, all of those cans featured characters from the Phantom Menace. And me and one of my best friends, Andrew Bailey, we actually collected almost all of them. I don't know if we ever quite got the full collection back then. Who knows, man? They might be stored away in my parents' attic.
You need to find them, because they're worth some moolah if you can get them.
Yeah, and if I did find them, I would sell them, because I'm sure you heard at the very beginning of this episode, I'm already saving up for my son, who is making his debut to the world this October.
Yes.
And
I don't know whether to feel bad for your kid or feel bad for the world that there's going to be two of you running around.
Man, WellsMania 2.0, or as a lot of people on social media have already nicknamed him, Mini Mondo. I'm excited, man. I am really excited. I'm excited for my wife. I never thought that I'd ever be a dad, but here in a few months, I'll be holding my baby boy. So
No, but
it'll be wild.
all jokes aside, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, maybe it'll mature you a little bit.
I think so, because I've already had a dose of what is to come, and diapers ain't cheap. Diapers ain't cheap. Baby stuff ain't cheap. You know, Ashley and I were putting together our registry on Target. Dude, some of the prices, like on strollers and car seats and this and that and that and this, I'm just like, whoa, it's a lot. So that's why I can't express it enough. I'm trying to get to 10K on TikTok, so that way I can start making money off of my videos that I post. And then that way, all the money that I make off of my TikTok is going straight to my son and my wife. I'm trying to make my wife a stay-at-home mom, or as a SOM. You've seen those TikTok videos, the SAHM. No,
I have to admit, my FYP is not giving me that sort of content.
I was gonna say your algorithm is probably a lot different than mine, because
I'm still stuck on the AI Bigfoot videos is what my FYP is. So
dude, AI is insane.
Yeah.
Like you watch these AI videos that look so real, you have a hard time. Like, is this real or is this AI? Like, it's really trippy how real AI is getting. It's kind of scary.
You got to be close. You're getting. I just hit 9K over the weekend, and
congratulations.
Finally, I got stagnant there I got stagnant there for a minute at the tail end of 8K. It felt like things were not moving, but being in Atlanta definitely helped. It got me over that finish line. So inching to 10K, but you're not far behind me. I mean, you're only a couple hundred people behind me, I think.
I think so. I think the last I looked, I was like at 8.8K. So hopefully, if you're watching this, follow Stone Payne Productions on TikTok, follow WellsMania on TikTok, help Payton and I get to 10K, so that way all of our hard work and the grind, because I had tag team twinning on last week's episode of WellsMania Podcast, and they were telling me how much of a grind that they have been on, and they have almost 26 something thousand followers. I told them, I said, y'all need to send some of your followers to WellsMania's way and help.
Such a grind.
Help me out over here
in like 6 months.
Yeah, no, they're doing damn good, and it was good to have them on last week's episode. And it's kind of, it's been a lot of fun having different content creators on different episodes of WellsMania Podcast, because I feel like, Payton, you and I are so damn good at what we do, but there's still so many people out there who have no idea who we are. Yeah. So it's nice to be featured. Like, I was on the Aiden Chong experience. You know who Aiden Chong is, right? On TikTok?
I believe he follows me, but I don't know if I've ever had a conversation with him.
You should, because he is really entertaining, and he's on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube a lot. Hey, he might even have you on his Aiden Chong experience. That would be good for you. But that's the thing, man, is like, I've been trying to go on other wrestling podcasts and just, continuing to get the WellsMania brand out there. And eventually, Payton, we will hit that milestone 10K on TikTok. So we just got to keep putting in the work, keep putting in the content, and we will get there. We will get there. Now, You were down in Atlanta, Georgia. How was Atlanta, Georgia? Has it changed much since WrestleMania 27?
I would say yes, a little bit. It definitely. I mean, it's been so long since WrestleMania 27. It's hard to remember everything. But on the short end, probably not a city I'd want to go back and just hang out in. But but no, I had a good time. One thing I did not know until I got there was Beyonce was also in town.
Yeah, you sent me that text message, and I will not repeat what that text message said, but a lot of Beyonce fans.
It was just an overabundance of just people in cowgirl and cowboy hats and like infested with them. And it was just, and the saddest part is we all know Beyonce's not even a real country singer. So it's all just, they're faking it. You know what I mean? So they were just everywhere. The traffic was absolutely horrendous. So whoever booked all of that in that one weekend, not a good move.
That was a lot. That was a lot down there in Atlanta, Georgia. You know who is a real country music Grammy nominated artist that was down there running wild in Atlanta, Georgia? Jelly Roll, the 5-foot giant Chris Ingles hero. Jelly Roll was running wild at Saturday night's main event. Payton, what are your thoughts on Jelly Roll getting involved with Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul? Because apparently Jelly Roll has been training at the WWE Performance Center, and he is getting ready for his WWE in-ring debut at SummerSlam, because it's going to be Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus my boss, Logan Paul, and Drew McIntyre. What are your thoughts on this?
So, a couple different things. I don't have a problem with Jelly Roll being involved. And I'm one of those people, I don't have a problem with any outside person being involved. And there's immediately going to be heat, because there's nothing wrestling fans hate more than outsiders coming into the pro wrestling business. Even though it's literally been a staple of the pro wrestling business since WrestleMania 1.
I pity the fool. That's right, man. Mr. T. Do people not realize that celebrities and wrestling have gone hand in hand literally since WrestleMania 1?
Celebrities in the rock and wrestling era literally helped catapult pro wrestling to where it is today.
Yeah.
So
especially Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
Gotta get that in there real quick.
So I don't have a problem with outsiders being a part of pro wrestling. I want it to be good, and I want, when they do show up to do things like this, especially step in the ring, I want them to take it seriously and not make a joke of it. So I'm very excited to hear Jelly Roll's been training, very avidly for this match. So I don't have a problem with that, and there's still people that claim Logan Paul's an outsider, even though I think Logan Paul has proven without a shadow of a doubt that he is no outsider. The man is a pro wrestler through and through.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love Randy Orton being thrown in this match. I feel like it's kind of a step in the wrong direction right after I feel like we just got a big Orton heel turn tease at the end of Night of Champions, where he was like looking back at Cody and had that, like, I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of this happening to me, and then a couple weeks later, it's like, you're out here partying with Jelly Roll in the middle of the ring. I don't know. That seemed a little weird to me. I feel like there may have been better choices storyline wise than Orton being thrown in the mix here. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a decent match. I don't have a problem with it. And I think Jelly Roll is very dedicated to making it good because he is a massive pro wrestling fan. He's apparently doing a lot better than Travis Scott is. I don't know if you've seen those reports.
Yeah. Apparently Travis Scott is not picking up on pro wrestling as much as they wish he would have. Yeah. But yeah, man, like it's tale as old as time. Yeah. Celebrities and pro wrestling go hand in hand. It dates all the way back to Hulk Hogan and Mr. T at WrestleMania 1. And you fast forward, and now we've got Jelly Roll, who looks phenomenal, by the way. He's lost so much weight. And you can just tell that this has been a childhood dream of his, and he just has been waiting his whole life for this opportunity, and he's not going to let this moment pass him by. So I'm really glad that he's taking all the necessary steps in that right direction and he doesn't have to do much. No. I mean, his tag team partner is arguably one of the greatest of all time, Randy Orton. So we all know Orton's going to carry, most of that match. And on the flip side, you don't have to worry about Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. Those two guys will be fine. Jelly Roll will come in for the hot tag. He'll do his thing, and we'll save our predictions for the SummerSlam show, which I plan on having a panel of who's who. So if you're available, Payton, I'd love to have you on for the WellsMania SummerSlam prediction show.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just wanted to get your thoughts because I'm sure you've been seeing all the hate that Jelly Roll has been receiving on social media.
It's pro wrestling fans, especially online pro wrestling fans. All they do is bitch. That's literally what's funny? Spoilers. All right. If you haven't seen the new Superman film, I'm going to drop one. It's nothing of importance. But you can fast forward like 10 seconds. There's a scene in the new Superman movie where it's revealed Lex Luthor has thousands upon thousands of actual monkeys with like head things on in front of computers. And they're literally trained to just type hate comments on Twitter about Superman.
Really?
And I was like, oh my God, it's the IWC. Mm-hmm. This is what they are. So
you're not too far off there, brother.
Yeah. So
you like Superman though? I've heard really good things about that movie.
It was absolutely phenomenal. If you are a fan of the character, go and see it. In my opinion, it is the best interpretation ever of the character on screen.
Wow. And that's saying something.
There's
been some pretty good portrayals of Superman over the past. So
there have. This one, in my opinion, is the best. But
wow.
No, the IWC, man, all they do is complain. All they do is complain.
It's what they do best, man. And I never understand why someone chooses to be miserable and just full of hate and just full of negativity. I don't know why someone moves and operates living their life like that.
It's one thing to not like a certain storyline or a character direction and being like, I'm not really feeling this. Like, that's just not for me. That's one thing. But you can tell the difference between someone just, speaking their mind on something, which I do. If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
And people that all they do is complain.
Yeah.
Or they'll bury something before it ever even happens. Perfect example. The match between Goldberg and Gunther. Let's get into that. You were there, man. You were there. You got to watch it live. What was the vibe like in Atlanta? What was the vibe like inside the arena? And what was the vibe like during and after the match? Because unlike us at home,
we did not get to hear Goldberg's retirement speech because it got cut off by Peacock and WWE.
Now,
so
they did release the whole thing online. I don't know if you've gone back and watched it.
I have, and I would have loved to have seen that in real time.
Yeah, no. I got to see the whole thing in the arena. It was epic. You know, you could just feel the energy. Nostalgia was in the air. You know, everybody in the building was overly excited and I think had high hopes for what we were going to see. I don't think there was anybody actually in the building that was, you know, going in with a negative mindset. I mean, these people that were there were Goldberg fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Goldberg country.
And they wanted the absolute best out of this match. And I had been telling people for weeks leading up to this, do not count this match out. Everybody that I talk is like, oh, it's going to suck. Goldberg's going to wrestle for 2 minutes. It's going to be, it's going to be bad, blah, blah. And that's not what happened. I told everybody it was going to be good. And this was as good as it could have gotten. It was the longest match Goldberg has done in 22 years. Gunther deserves all the credit in the world. I had been saying, I believe you and I even talked about it on this podcast. If anybody can pull out the best match in Goldberg, it is Gunther, because the man is incapable of wrestling a bad match. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Gunther, in my opinion, pound for pound, is the best wrestler in the world today. And I think he proved it again at Saturday night's main event. Him and Goldberg told a very simple yet effective story. It was fun to watch. And right out of the gate, when Gunther hit that first chop and Goldberg laughed in his face, the crowd, they came unglued. It was like, oh, shit, here we go. This is going to be fun.
Goldberg has since apologized for
which I don't understand why, because it was such a great moment.
And it made sense why he laughed during the moment in the match. And, Goldberg went on Ariel Helwani's show and just totally just unloaded. And I've got some quotes from that I'll read.
We'll get into that because I do have opinions on that. But as far as the moment of the chop and the laugh, I thought it was great because it's like, that's Goldberg.
Exactly.
The man is a living tank. And especially only being like 20 seconds into the match, it makes sense that a chop wouldn't affect him. But then as the match went on longer and longer, the chops did start to take effect, because that's how Gunther operates. He will wear you down. And eventually he did wear down Goldberg.
Because the match was about almost 15 minutes.
It was about 15 minutes. The fight, Charles Robinson, man, give that dude all the props in the world. He's had a rough month. Can
we just put him in the Hall of Fame already?
Yeah, he ate the hell out of that spear from Goldberg. It was fantastic. And then the big falsie where Goldberg hit the spear and the jackhammer and the ref ran out. Dude, everybody in the building came out of their seat. And then I think it ended the way it needed to. Goldberg getting choked out in the middle of the ring by Gunther and Gunther retaining the title. I thought it was amazing. I don't think it could have been done any better. Maybe I'm biased because I was in the building and I got to see the full unedited version of it. But I thought it was fantastic. I really did. I
agree with you.
What your thoughts? You watched it on TV. How did it come across on TV? What are your thoughts?
I was live streaming on TikTok and, everybody was in a really good mood. Like you said, everyone was hyped going into the match. And it was a lot more than what we thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be past a 10-minute match. I thought it was going to be somewhere in that 5 to 10 minute range, depending on what exactly they wanted to do. But I thought they both went at a really good pace. And I thought, like you said, man, Gunther does not know how to not wrestle a good match. Yeah. That guy is so talented that he can literally wrestle anyone and the match is going to be great. I mean, we've seen it with Pat McAfee. Now we've seen it with 58-year-old Goldberg. I mean, Gunther is arguably, pound for pound, like you said, the best wrestler on the planet today. And I don't feel like he gets a lot of love in that category that he should. But we'll give him love here on WellsMania Podcast. But man, it came across really good on TV. I mean, Goldberg paced himself. He didn't seem winded. Now, obviously, towards the end of the match, he did, but that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be worn out and worn down by the time the end of the match happens. I'll tell you one thing that I'm a little bummed about, and I don't know if we're ever going to get a definite answer, but I just felt like had Seth Rollins not got injured, there was a different outcome that was going to happen. Now, I know Goldberg says that he'll be able to tell more in the next couple of weeks. So I'm kind of wondering if the plan was for Goldberg to win the World Heavyweight title and then have Seth Rollins cash in. But because Seth Rollins got injured and was not able to cash in later in the night, the match ended with Gunther beating Goldberg. So I kind of wonder if that's why Goldberg is so upset with the outcome of that match, because the interview with Ariel Helwani, he was very vocal in saying that that is not how he wanted it to go. So I kind of wonder, were you supposed to win and then Seth Rollins was supposed to cash in on you? I mean,
I don't know.
Are we ever going to get a definite answer? I'm not sure, but would you have much rather that had happened, or are you content with the outcome that we got?
I'm content with what we got. I think it would have been cool, especially being in the building, if he would have won. I would have popped for it. I'd have been like, oh, that's awesome. But me being a booker and a storyteller, it wouldn't have made sense for me if if I would have been the one with the pin, if I'd have been booking that night, Gunther needed to win. Because what would Gunther have gained in any of those other circumstances? Nothing. If you want,
he would have been the odd man out.
If you want Gunther to be credible and this destroyer like they book him to be, he needed to beat Goldberg. He needed that victory, because if he would have lost, he would have never regained that win back, and you would have lost to the 58-year-old Goldberg, So I think the way it went down is exactly how it needed to go down. I really do. As far as Goldberg's comments,
let's get into that, because it's a lot to unpack right here.
I'll give a very brief thing, and then you can go through the actual comments so we can break them down. But I think I didn't like the comments that he had. I thought it came off, and it sucks, because I thought the show was done very well. I thought that he was given everything a person could want in their last match. I understand, your stuff maybe got cut off on the NBC feed, but you are working with a 2-hour time slot, and they did post the full speech at the end after on all of their socials, and I believe it got like millions of hits. If I believe, like it broke some social media records, so everybody went and watched it. I don't know what else he could have wanted out of that. Like, you were put in the ring with the best guy you could have possibly been in there with. You were in the main event. It was for the world championship. You wrestled in Atlanta. You wrestled the best, longest match you've had in 22 years. Yeah. You were given time to talk and do a speech after the show, regardless if it got cut off or not on the actual NBC feed. You were still given that time to address the fans. Like, most people wouldn't get that opportunity. There's a lot of legends that legends that I love in particular that I think deserve an opportunity like that never got that opportunity.
Yeah.
So I don't understand this idea of, and it sucks because I was so supportive of Goldberg going into this match in this show, and I give him all the credit in the world. I think he gave us everything that he had, but coming out 2 days after it's all over and kind of being a crybaby bitch about it is not a good look. It's coming off very Bret Hartish.
Speaking of Bret Hart, did you like the memes that people made of Bret Hart was the one who cut the feed?
Yeah, that was funny.
He's sitting in the Peacock studios with a big smile on his face. I thought those were pretty funny. But talking about the speech, here's a quote from Ariel Helwani's show. Goldberg says, 100%, yeah, absolutely. They cut me off in frickin' 20 seconds with the microphone in my hand, for God's sakes. I got 2 weeks before I can really spill the beans and make my feelings known about the entire rundown from the inception of the idea to its delivery. It was a little less than to be desired. So that's why I'm kind of curious to see in 2 weeks, like, what more is Goldberg going to say? He says this, he goes on, he says, he's pissed off at the way he went out. Let's just say I'm pissed off at the way I went out. I put so much into it, and I don't feel as though the effort was reciprocated to put a stamp on what I've accomplished.
I don't know what else could have been done, though.
Here's another quote on his retirement match date being announced on a 3 weeks notice. I would have loved for them to announce it in January and have a build up to it and do something like that I thought I was maybe worthy of my career. But let's just say they chose to do it with 3 weeks notice. And then he goes on to throw some names out there. I'm not saying it was done on purpose by any stretch of imagination. I'm saying that it wasn't prepared for on purpose. That's all. They wouldn't do that to Taker, right? They're not going to do that to Cena. Cena's gone around the world doing his retirement thing. Mine was just a world heavyweight championship match. And to be honest, I'm going to catch hell for this. I don't care. I've had world heavyweight matches all the time. That doesn't do anything for me. It just felt a little to me. So, yeah, I mean, Goldberg definitely very bitter, very salty, does not sound satisfied. Now, Payton, then you got to start wondering, okay, is this a work? Like, is this teeing up for something down the road where Goldberg does come back and
I hope not,
truly gets the match and the send-off and the pomp and circumstance that he wants?
But what would be the point of that?
It's like, what? Why, like you said, why are you going on Ariel Helwani's show and saying all this stuff? Because it does not look good on you saying this stuff. So in my mind, it's like, is he just bitter, or is there something else out there that will reveal itself here in 2 weeks? Because SummerSlam, Payton, SummerSlam is in a couple of weeks. So I don't know, man.
I will say this. If in 2 weeks' time, Goldberg comes out and says the reason that he's bitter is because he was supposed to win, I think that'll make him look even worse. Because I think that will make the fans go, oh, see, he is just an asshole legend that didn't want to put over the young guy on his way out. And remember back when he buried the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and like all of that stuff's going to come back, and it's going to make him look even worse if that's what he's bitter about, not winning.
Yeah, he needs to, and I'm never going to tell somebody what they should or shouldn't say, but in this case, he needs to tread lightly.
Yeah,
because dude, you just had a very respectable last match.
He's doing it so soon. It's been 2 days.
Yeah, let it marinate.
Like, I mean, people were giving you all the props in the world. Most of the responses from the match were very positive.
Yeah.
Like, take that as a win and be like, hey, I'm going out in a positive light in the eyes of the fans. What else can I ask for?
The only thing that I can truly think of is he was supposed to win, and then Seth Rollins was supposed to cash in. That's the only thing that I can think of that he wasn't satisfied with, because obviously if Rollins' knee injury, and we'll get into it here right now, if Seth Rollins' knee injury is legit, depending on what he suffered, he lost to LA Knight, and was not able to walk out on his own. He had to be helped away. So Payton, it's so hard, man, because you wanna wish wrestlers well when it looks like they are injured, but then sometimes these injuries are a work. And I know that a lot of people, me included, when Seth Rollins' knee injury happened and LA Knight got the win, I felt like that it was going to be a ruse to make us all think, oh my God, he's hurt. And then he was going to show up after Goldberg won and cash in. That was what I was expecting to happen. It didn't happen. So now I'm kind of like, is the knee injury legit?
I think it's legit.
How do you feel about it?
I do think it is a legit injury, and I think they're being very secretive about saying exactly what it is or how long he's going to be out, because they want to keep that a mystery as long as possible due to the Money in the Bank situation.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to put a definite stamp on anything, because then people will start, if he didn't have Money in the Bank, I think it'd be like, yeah, he's going to be out like 9 months. But I think him holding that briefcase is why they're being very secretive.
Yes.
But I do think that it is unfortunately a real injury. I think that he injured it on the first roll when he went for the springboard, like somersault. Yeah. I think on the roll through, when you watch it, his leg kind of bends sideways.
Yes, I saw that, and I was like, ooh.
And then when he gets up, when he gets up, you can see him kind of like hobble a little bit and like shake the leg, and then he hesitates before doing the full backflip. And whatever damage was done on that initial one, when he landed on the backflip, I think it blew out whatever the damage was that he did the first time around.
It was very noticeable. It was very noticeable that something was tweaked, and
it sucks because I do feel for Seth, because I feel like this is like the third time in his career where he's like the top player in the company, and then something bad happens where it ends up taking him out of that position. I will also say, why does it always feel like these major injuries happen to the main event level talents right in the middle of either major storylines or going into huge events? It happens every time. It's always the top guy going into a major event in the middle of a major storyline. And no offense to the younger guys, I don't want to see anybody get injured, and I apologize for even using this guy as an example, but it's never like Cruz del Toro got hurt. You know what I mean? It's always, no, it was Seth, it was Roman, it was Cody, it was Punk. It's always those guys that get he's going to be out for 10 months.
It is kind of weird that does happen quite a bit. You and I both know that no matter what time of the year, no matter what match you're having, injuries can always happen. It's one false move away or one freak accident away. In this case, I don't think it was a freak accident, because what he did wasn't anything that he doesn't normally do. So it just happened to be, I think, wear and tear on his body and his previous injuries that they don't always go away, man. Like, you can get surgery. That doesn't mean you're invincible. I mean, you're still prone to injury, especially a pro wrestler and a pro athlete. Like, that's why careers get cut short, because guys can never fully come back from injuries. And then now it's like, you're always going to look at Seth Rollins' knee and you're going to wonder, dude, enough is enough, man. You either step away now while you can still walk, or, Lord forbid you just keep re-injuring and just getting hurt over and over and
Or
over
change
again.
your style.
Yeah, or that too.
Stop doing moonsaults and landing on your feet.
And the thing is Seth Rollins doesn't need to do that stuff. He's so far into his career, he's so established that he doesn't need to do all the flippy stuff that all those other flippy wrestlers do. But one thing I will say is, if it is a legit injury, I hope that Seth Rollins has a speedy recovery, because I've really been enjoying this storyline with him and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman. And of course, the good thing about him having the Money in the Bank, he can be out for the rest of the year and some next year, and he's still going to be the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Some people were coming at me saying, well, he's going to vacate the briefcase. I'm like, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He's got 1 year from this past Money in the Bank to cash in. And if he's out for the next 8 or 9 months, he can still cash in when he comes back from his injury. I hope he's not out for that long. But yeah, man, you don't want it to be a work. But the way that they're going about it, it does seem a little sus. It does seem like,
I mean, if it ended up being a work, I wouldn't be overly shocked. I just think it's a very odd work to do.
Yeah.
Like something about it seems off in a way where it's like, it could be a work, but it's also like, what's the point of this being a work? Why would this be a storyline?
A swerve. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of.
Yes,
because when I'm sitting there and I'm watching Goldberg versus Gunther, in my mind, I'm thinking, man, I got a feeling that Seth Rollins might cash in, because the way that he lost to LA Knight, it's like he didn't care. He didn't care to be, or, the LA Knight match didn't matter to Seth Rollins. And then him making everybody think that he's hurt, people are not going to think that they're going to see him cash in, but he didn't. So maybe they're going to prolong it. But if he really is hurt, then it makes sense why he didn't cash in.
The moment that I figured it was real was when he got up, walked right into a BFT, and LA Knight beat him. Yeah. I don't, storyline wise, I don't care if you care about the match or not. I don't understand why anyone would be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get up and like take a finish that could hinder my chances of cashing in later, and lose this match. I feel like if the match would have just ended off the knee injury and they'd have been like, oh, the match is over now, and they carried him to the back and he can't continue, I'd have been like, okay, maybe there's something here. But the fact that he was like, I'm going to get up, eat a BFT, a very fragile looking BFT at that, and then eat the pin, that's when I was like, no, there's something else going on. I will say, I do think Roman Reigns was supposed to come back at Saturday night's main event.
Okay.
And then the injury happened and they pushed it to Monday.
We'll get to Roman Reigns' return here in just a second. Just real quick, want to run through your thoughts on Evolution. Personally, I thought Evolution was the best show from the weekend. The card was absolutely entertaining from beginning to the end. There were some surprises that I didn't see coming, which I know I like being right with my predictions, but it's kind of nice and refreshing to not predict matches that happen, like the Intercontinental Championship match. I thought for sure that Bayley was going to win the women's IC title, and she didn't. Becky retained. I thought for sure that Jordynne Grace was going to win the NXT women's title and beat JC Jane. That didn't happen. But I do like the Blake Monroe heel turn. I thought that was pretty cool, turning her heel. She just seems like a natural heel to me. The women's tag team titles, I thought for sure that Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss were going to win those cursed women's tag team titles. That didn't happen. And then I wanted Trish Stratus to win, but I knew she wouldn't. Tiffany Stratton, who, by the way, you got to meet during a meet and
Yes.
greet. Unfortunately, your plans with mommy didn't work out,
No.
but you got to meet Tiffany
Well,
Stratton
I guess
instead.
real quick story behind that is I was scheduled to meet Rhea Ripley. And then when I got there the day of, apparently she had a schedule change, and they had a glitch in their system, and like 75% of the people that had purchased the Rhea Ripley meet and greet did not get the email notifying them of the schedule change. Well,
Wow.
I was one of those people that did not get the email. So they offered me other meet and greets as long as it like equaled the same amount as I paid for the Rhea Ripley one. Well, Tiffany Stratton and Io Sky were both like within the hour of me being there. So I picked them, and I guess you can't complain. I got to meet the two women's world champions at the time.
Yeah, at the time.
But one and they were both very nice, and I loved meeting them both. It was very cool meeting them. But one day I will get to meet Mommy. It will happen.
Yes, you will. I am manifesting that will happen.
Fate is trying to keep us apart, but it will not succeed.
Something like that. Jade Cargill defeated Naomi in a no-holds-barred match. Stephanie Vaquer won the 20-woman Evolution Battle Royal, so now she will get a championship match versus, we'll get to her in just a second, at Clash in Paris. Naomi cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase and is the new WWE Women's World Champion. And how badass is Naomi, man? She's the first woman to cash in mid-match, making it a triple threat match, and successfully won the World Championship match, or the Women's World Championship. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. Now we are getting Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky at SummerSlam. Your thoughts, though, your overall thoughts before we dive into the SummerSlam card, your overall thoughts on Evolution.
I thought it was a very good show. I thought it was entertaining. I thought all the women delivered, especially Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. My God, match of the year contender. I know that the Naomi cash-in kind of overshadows everything, but those two women gave us arguably one of the best women's matches of all time. I mean, they absolutely tore the house down. Trish Stratus and Tiffany also did an amazing job. Trish Stratus
still got it, man.
She is timeless. And if that was the last match Trish ever had, she should be proud of it. It was amazing. I think she will be back again, but that was a fantastic match.
Thank you, Trish.
Yes, thank you, Trish. And
thank you, Goldberg, too.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to all the legends, And then the Naomi cash-in was great. I believe that continues the trend of no failed cash-ins for the women.
That is correct. Every single women's Money in the Bank winner has gone on to successfully cash in and become the champion.
I love Naomi's heel gimmick. I think that it was so needed for her career to turn heel, to have this refresher. And I think she's going to do great as the champ. I really do. I think she's been very entertaining, and I'm excited to see where she goes from here.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought Evolution was a very fun show. Stephanie McMahon, I know you listen and I know you watch the WellsMania podcast, so please, can we get an Evolution PLE every single year?
Well, Triple H already said that's not happening. So
it just doesn't make sense to me why you wouldn't want to reward the women every single year.
I will say, though, I think if it happened every year, I don't think it would be as successful. I think the fact that it's more of a spectacle that comes around every once in a while adds to the glamour of it. I think if it was a repetitive yearly thing, I don't think it would feel as special as it has the last 2 times.
You think people would get burnt out on it?
Yeah, I do. I think it'd be like, all right, well, what legend's going to come back this year? Like it would start to become a knockoff of itself after a while, kind of like, and I don't want to throw it in this like gimmick category, but let's be real. It is a gimmick show. It is. It's all women. It would be like after so many years of seeing the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, like the first couple times, it's like, oh, this is cool. We get a Hell in a Cell every year. And then after a while, you're like, the cell's not even important anymore. Like the glamour of it would run off eventually.
You want it to feel special. So I get that. You don't want to. I personally would be cool with Evolution happening every year, but if you do it every other year or every 3 years or whatever, it does make it feel really special when it does come around during that time of the year. SummerSlam. The SummerSlam is heating up, Payton. And I know we'll get to Roman Reigns here in just a second, but I wanted to run through the SummerSlam card real quick and just see how excited you are for the SummerSlam. That was paying homage to Bret the Hitman Hart. The SummerSlam. If you know, you know. Speaking of the women, we've got 3 women's matches already booked for SummerSlam. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's title. Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental title. We've got Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, defending the title against CM Punk, who won the gauntlet match on Monday Night Raw because, and this is where we'll talk about him, acknowledge me, the OTC1 is back, Payton. Roman Reigns is back, and he has receipts. And man, is it really, really good and cool to have the Tribal Chief back on our TV screens. Yes. What's your thoughts on Roman Reigns being back? Because we haven't seen Roman in quite some time.
I feel like every time we see Roman is some sort of comeback. He'll be here for 3 weeks and then he'll be gone again for 8 months and then he'll have another cool comeback. That's kind of what his career is now. Yeah. But I'll never get tired of hearing the pop when the music does hit. I thought it was great. I thought he looked phenomenal. I think that we're not going to get the match that he was scheduled to be in at SummerSlam. I think that things have changed due to Rollins' injury.
Yeah.
There's multiple reports going around. Some are saying we could see Roman versus Braun Breaker one-on-one. Some are saying we could see Roman and Jay versus Braun and Bronson in a tag team match. I think both are very likely options. But I'm excited. I'm excited to have Roman back. Hopefully he's around longer than just 3 weeks and then SummerSlam and then goes away again. But we do know that both him and Cody Rhodes have been cast in the new Street Fighter film. So whenever filming begins for that, both of them are going to have to go away for a little while.
Yeah, and those are 2 heavy hitters. I mean, literally those are 2 of the top guys, the 2 franchise players in the company. So whenever that does happen, whoever wants to chomp at the bit to be the next top guy, you better start auditioning now.
Yeah.
Now is the time. The time is now. But yeah, man, I thought it was really cool that Roman Reigns returned. And like you said, this has kind of become his thing. He goes away, he comes back. It's awesome because it's like he evolutionizes himself every single time that he does come back. And now he's the OTC1, the TC1. Could that be to go up against and counter the QB1 that is Cody Rhodes? Are we already getting Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania 42? Are we planting the seeds already, or am I just thinking way too
I personally I personally think it's just them trying to come up with new merch ideas for Roman. That's all it is. It's like, all right, well like the OTC works. Just call him the OTC. That's what everybody chants.
OTC1, bro. OTC1, because you got to throw the ones up.
I get it, but then what is the next time? Like they already they tried YTC. Now they're trying OTC1. Next time it'll be OTC2. Like it just, keep it simple. Why does he need a new nickname every time he comes back?
He does have a pretty growing list of nicknames. The Big Dog, the Tribal Chief, the Head of the Table, the Original Tribal Chief, the Original Tribal Chief 1. Yeah. Am I missing any nicknames?
The YTC, Your Tribal Chief.
Oh, like Your Tribal Chief.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it, man. I'm excited. Yes, I think all roads were leading to Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. If Seth Rollins is unable to go, I think it will be, like you said, it's either going to be Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker, which I think is a really big match for Braun Breaker at SummerSlam to have against Roman Reigns. But more than likely, because of what we saw at the end of Monday Night Raw, it's probably going to be Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed at SummerSlam. If I had to book that match right here, right now, that is the match that I would put on the card that would be more realistically to happen in New Jersey for the first ever 2-night SummerSlam, Payton. And speaking of the rest of the card, we've got Gunther versus CM Punk, like we said.
That'll steal the weekend.
Yeah,
the weekend.
That one right there. Now I'm biased because I think Cena Rhodes will be the match of the night. But Gunther versus Punk is going to be an absolute show stealer.
That's the main event of night one. It has to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be.
I mean,
we mentioned the tag team match earlier, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. And then the main event for night 2 of SummerSlam, a WrestleMania 41 rematch. This time, the never seen 17 undisputed WWE champion John Cena takes on Cody Rhodes. And Payton, are you going to New Jersey? You are a traveling man. You how many I'm sorry, let me back that up. How many PLEs have you been to in 2025?
6.
6 PLEs.
I've broken my record. The record was 3. I've broken it by 3 now. So Royal Rumble, Backlash, Battleground, Great American Bash, Saturday night's main event, Money in the Bank. I probably will not be going to SummerSlam. For now, but I don't know. There's other things I'm on the schedule that I'm looking to do. SummerSlam is as of right now not looking on the cards for me. But regardless of where I'm watching it, I'm very excited to watch it. Now, you, on the other hand, you are very much contemplating going.
Yeah, I have really been going back and forth because I have the opportunity to do something that I have never been able to do in my entire life, and that is attend all 4 PLEs, all 4 major PLEs in the same year. And I had to explain this to Tag Team Twinning, that Survivor Series is considered one of the big 4.
It is. It's one of the big 4.
And of course, I know they've watched old Survivor Series, but back in the 90s, man, Survivor Series was a big deal. I know it's not so much nowadays because War Games has taken over and that old school nostalgic feel of Survivor Series is gone for now.
I'm gonna argue it's not War Games. I think I'll actually counter argue your argument. I think War Games has reinvigorated Survivor Series a little bit. I think the problem with people's viewpoint of Survivor Series is the fact that it's the only one of the big four that now for so many years has never been upgraded to a stadium show. But that changes this year. This year it is in a stadium. So it's finally getting that big four treatment because it will be happening in Petco Park.
Yeah. And speaking of that, so SummerSlam is on the table. I have not ruled it out. You actually gave me an idea that didn't cross my Hoosier Dome. You said since it's 2 nights and mainly I want to be there for Cena, you said, why don't you just go for night 2 of SummerSlam? You fly or drive, because I was looking, New Jersey is about a 10.5-hour car ride from us here in Indianapolis. 10.5 hours isn't too bad. I mean,
I just did 8 going to Atlanta.
I mean, it is a drive. It is a drive. But I think in the long run, it would be a lot cheaper than flying to New Jersey.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like a hotel goes, I think I would probably only get a 1-night hotel. I do not think I would drive 10.5 hours, go to the show, and then drive 10.5 hours back. I mean, that's over 20 plus hours in the car in such a short amount of time. So I would more than likely probably get a hotel after night 2 of SummerSlam. So then that way I can refresh and get some rest before I hit the road and go back home. Back home again in Indiana. Yeah, man. Not weighing it out. And like I said at the very beginning of this episode, my son is due in October. So SummerSlam might be my last PLE that I'll be able to attend for a while. And with that being said, I would almost have to tell Ashley, if I do go to SummerSlam, it's like, babe, listen, I've got to go to Survivor Series. I have to fly out to California for Survivor Series because I went to the Rumble.
Yeah.
Her and I went to Mania. And if I do go to SummerSlam, that's 3 out of 4, Payton.
You know what? That's where the grandparents come in. Just get them to help babysit for 2 nights.
Yeah, hell, man. Maybe Ashley would want. No, it would be so fresh because he'd only not even be a month old.
He won't even know you're gone.
Yeah, I'll bring him back something. From Survivor Series because I am going to Chicago, to Fan Expo Chicago in August for a John Cena meet and greet. So if I don't go to SummerSlam, at least I am going to Chicago to see John Cena. And it's been since Wizard World 2016, I think, was the last time I saw Cena face to face. So him and I will get an updated picture together. I'm going to tell him that I'm having a kid. Maybe, just maybe, I'll get lucky and he'll do a video with me. That would be really cool. Like the baby's name reveal, because we haven't told anybody. It's John. What his name is going to be. So
Jonathan Felix Wells.
maybe just maybe I can get John Cena to do a video. I can't tell you.
It's Jonathan Felix Wells. We all know it.
Maybe I'll do a video with John Cena where he will reveal what my son's name is going to be. Now, Payton, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because you do have championship titles that are autographed. These 2 titles right here.
Yeah.
I'm planning on getting the OG spinner title signed. But my question to you is, what do I use and what color? Because I'm thinking about getting up here, up on this black leather strap, thinking about that area getting signed. But what color? And would it be a Sharpie? Is there a special type of marker?
My OG spinner title, which is autographed by The Miz, is already signed in a silver ink pen. So if I were to have Cena sign it, I'd probably go the same route. I mean, I guess I could have him sign in a different color. But I would probably, you want to go with something that pops on the black.
Yeah, I mean white would pop.
Yeah.
Silver, yeah, silver would pop. Gold, I don't know, man. I don't know if gold would be. I think gold would look kind of dark on black.
I would probably go silver or white.
Silver or white. Now I just got to figure out exactly like what brand. So if you're watching out there and you are an expert on getting championship titles signed, let me know what brand of marker, ink pen. Let me know so that way I nail this, because I've been meaning to get this title signed by John Cena for over 20 years now. I bought that back in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And
back when title belts were only like $100.
Dude, I spent $250 on that belt.
That belt's like $800 now.
You guys spent $800 on the Indianapolis spinner, which I thought about getting it signed up here on the Indy patch in white, but I was like, no, man, I gotta get the OG spinner title.
You gotta go OG,
because that belt and we have been through a lot. I'm still deciding on what to wear, because I don't know what I want to wear in the updated photo with John Cena. I'll probably end up wearing this shirt and this hat. Let's be real. But it did cross my mind to cosplay as him one final time, or dress up as dress up as Megamondo and introduce John Cena to Megamondo. Could you imagine that picture?
Yeah. That's what you should do,
man. With the gorilla head and bananas. I mean, that would. I don't know if John Cena would, no pun intended, see that coming. Like, that would be probably the first. I mean, obviously, it would be the first person to ever do that. I don't know, man. I got till August 16th, I believe, is when the meet and greet is. Do you plan on going?
I'm thinking about it. I still haven't fully decided yet. I don't know if I would go and meet Cena. I do want to get my OG spinner belt signed by him.
Here's the opportunity.
I'm thinking about it, but there's
also you can even ride with me to Chicago.
Yeah, I am debating. I'll keep you posted.
Because Ewan McGregor is going to be there. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He's going to be there too. Yeah, it just depends.
You've never met him.
I have not. But I am. The reason I'm debating is I'll go ahead and spill this. I haven't fully committed yet, but I have been invited to a big Star Wars Comic-Con in early August in Texas.
Okay.
In Frisco, Texas, called Rebel Scum Con. And
Rebel Scum.
I have been offered a media pass.
Oh, wow. You got to go. You got to take that.
So I am very much, if I go to that, depending on how much I would spend on flight, hotel, and stuff, that might dictate whether literally the very next week I would go to Chicago or not.
Yeah.
Because but let me figure out my plans for that, and then I can make a decision.
Who all is going to be there at that Star Wars convention?
So I don't know if like Hayden Christensen or Ewan McGregor are going to be there, but I know a lot of the voice actors from the animated series are going to be there. I believe C-3PO is going to be there. Anthony
Daniels, legend.
Yeah. And I think they still have a few more names to announce. The one that I would like to meet the most is the guy who does the voice for Darth Maul. I know he's going to be there. So, and to possibly get interviews with them, because I have a media pass.
Yeah.
And
it's a big deal, man.
I was told that I would not have to buy tickets to get into the con with the pass. It's all access, so I don't only have to worry about travel. So
maybe I should reach out to WWE. That's a good idea. Maybe I should reach out and ask them if they can bring me on as media.
You should, to get into SummerSlam.
because then that way I'd only have to worry about how I'm getting
travel.
there. The travel, exactly. But no, man, that's really cool. I'm glad that you're getting that experience. That'll be great for your TikTok content. If you hadn't already hit 10K by then, I think that'll probably set you over the 10K mark.
Hopefully, man. TikTok, dude, I don't know about you, but TikTok has been very slow the last month. I don't know if yours has been slow, and maybe it's just because I've been slacking a little bit on like lives and stuff, but I feel like it's you know how it goes in.
Yeah.
It goes peaks and valleys. It goes in peaks and valleys where I feel like sometimes you're like, oh my God, the followers are coming in. And then other times it's like, Jesus, I've been at 8,700 for 4 weeks. You know, like, give me a break. And then I go to Atlanta and then boom, I literally hit 300 followers in 2 days in Atlanta. So it's like, you know,
that's the thing, man, is I feel like when you and I go places, when we go to shows in different cities, I feel like that's when our follower count skyrockets. Because I know when I went to WrestleMania, I literally gained like 3,000 followers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm hoping to possibly be able to do that if I do go to SummerSlam. But I'm also, when I go to Chicago, I'm going to be doing a lot of content when I'm there. And especially if I get a video with John Cena, I think that might be the cherry on top right there. I think if I do a video with John Cena, that should skyrocket me to 10,000 followers.
Are you going for more than 1 day, or are you just going to Chicago 1 day driving back?
I'm just going for 1 day. I am only going for him, and he is only going to be there on Saturday, August 16th. So I figured waking up early that day and driving, because Chicago is only like a 3.5 hour car ride from where we are. And I've made that drive several times, and it's not too bad. But that is my plan, is to wake up early on that Saturday, drive over, do some content, maybe get some interviews with some wrestling fans, and do a meet and greet with John Cena, get my spinner belt signed, and maybe, just maybe, man, I'll get lucky and he will do a video with me. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to be like, I know you're a very busy man right now, but, you know, I got a son coming in October, and I think it would be really cool if you were the one to announce what his name is going to be to the world.
Does your wife know this yet?
I have not pitched that idea to her yet, but okay. I don't think that she would. I don't think she would say no. I think that would be a really cool moment, especially for him when he gets older. Like, he can tell his friends, yeah, John Cena was the one who
How heartbroken are you going to be? How heartbroken are you going to be if your son grows up and just is not just hates John Cena?
I mean,
just going to be like, I can't stand his character. I don't like him.
I have wondered, like, is he going to be into wrestling? Like, I know I'm going to be a heavy influence on him.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling Ashley this the other day. I go, you know what's really cool with him coming in October is he will be able to be alive for John Cena's last match. So
he ain't gonna know what's happening.
When I'm standing there in the living room holding him, you know, he's crying, I'm crying. It's gonna be a very emotional moment, because Payton, technically, he was at WrestleMania 41.
Yeah.
And then he was in the womb, and it counts.
And you're gonna, then you're gonna cry even more when they cut John Cena's farewell speech off 20 seconds into it.
Man,
there
is no chance in hell that they will do that to
John
Cena.
If it's on a Saturday night's main event, they don't have a choice. It's a 2-hour time slot, and it's over.
I think that they will time that show out to perfection and give John Cena however much time he wants in that last little time slot of the show.
What would you do if they did? If he started his speech and they just cut off?
I would probably, I would be very angry. I would be very angry. I would probably go on TikTok Live if I wasn't already streaming on TikTok Live, but I would be very, very mad. That's very disrespectful. Now to Goldberg, it's disrespectful to do it to Goldberg, but to do it to John Cena, who's literally carried the WWE for the past 2 decades and some, I cannot see them doing that to him at all. But I am excited, man. I am excited for the rest of the year. We are, man. We're getting close to the end of the John Cena farewell tour. He doesn't have many dates left. I know
He probably only has like 5 matches left.
We're getting closer. I can't remember if it's 14 dates left, but we're getting closer to single digits. And then I think in the next few months, especially when my son gets here, I think when my son is born, once we get into November, that's when it's really going to hit me like, oh my God, John Cena retires next month.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm just going to be an emotional wreck for like the rest of November and into December. A lot of emotions, Payton, a lot of emotions for sure. But man, I'm really glad to have you on this episode 184 of WellsMania Podcast. I think we pretty much covered everything that's been going on. We recapped Saturday night's main event. We talked about Goldberg. We recapped Evolution. We talked about Seth Rollins' injury. We talked about Roman Reigns' return. I can't really think. Is there anything else that you want to get out there? I know we talked a little bit about Star Wars, which is always fun for those who like the Star Wars wrestling crossover.
Yeah, no, I think we pretty much covered it. I guess one question for you, while I'm on here, not knowing if I'm going to be back before SummerSlam, hopefully I will be on the panel show, but I still want to get your opinion. Over under, does The Rock show up at SummerSlam?
Oh man.
Do we finally get what we should have gotten at WrestleMania?
Do you want to know what I told Tag Team Twinning on last week's episode?
Sure.
Now, this is called dreaming out loud here, okay? But I'm going to throw it at you, and I'm going to see what you think. Tell me if I'm crazy, or tell me if I'm, yeah, man, I could maybe see that happening. So we get John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, okay? John Cena beats Cody Rhodes to retain the undisputed WWE title. John and Cody are in the ring. And then all of a sudden, The Rock's music hits. Out comes the final boss. It's like deja vu from Elimination Chamber. Except for this time, Cody turns on John Cena and finally sells his soul to The Rock. And that 1, 2, 3 throat slash, that was all about John Cena versus Cody Rhodes 3 times. So
I like it. The only thing I would change is I feel like the Cody turn would have to come before the end of the match, so he could win the title. Like, why else would The Rock show up?
I would have
not to,
I would have John Cena retain the title, and then Cody and Cena, it looks like they're about to embrace one another, but The Rock's like, no, we're not having that. We're not having that. And that's when The Rock comes out. Because I don't know, man. Do you take the title off of John Cena at SummerSlam? Or do you have him go all the way to his last match where it's like, oh my God, is he really going to retire and leave with the title?
I don't think Cena makes it to his last match as champion, but I do think he makes it to Survivor Series. I think that Survivor Series will be where Cena finally loses the title, and then he'll have one more match, whatever that is, in December.
Real quick. Did you see what the IWC and the dirt sheets have been throwing out there for Cena's last match? Gunther. So that would mean that John Cena would be the undisputed champion, and Gunther would be the world heavyweight champion. So you'd have champ versus champ. Could you imagine if John Cena beats Gunther and leaves with both titles? Could you imagine that?
Here's another thing you got to remember. If Cena retained, let's say both of them retain at SummerSlam, then that would be the second time they would face, because they're going to have to face each other at Crown Jewel.
This is true.
For the Crown Jewel Championship. It's champion versus champion.
But the titles aren't on the line for that match.
No.
Man, that would be a sight to see. Now this is where my mind goes. This crazy idea literally just popped up into my head. Let's just say Seth frickin' Rollins is good to go by December. Could you imagine if Seth cashes in, if it is Goldberg, if it is Gunther versus John Cena for John Cena's last match? Could you imagine if Seth Rollins cashes in and beats both of them to become the champ with both titles?
It's possible. It all comes down to if Cena's still a heel by then or not. And I think if he's going to go babyface, it has to involve the final boss.
Where do you think he comes back at?
If it's going to be anywhere, it's got to be SummerSlam.
It just feels like it's the first ever 2-night SummerSlam.
I mean, like, The Rock is the one that initiated the whole fucking storyline. He can't just not appear again.
You would think that he would return eventually.
And they know, and everyone, especially Cody, has talked about them knowing the match at WrestleMania was left a lot to be desired for a lot of people. Like, I know you loved it and Cena got the belt, but it was not what people thought it was going to be on a cinematic level. You know what I mean? It left people wanting more, and they know that. They know
because
that.
The Rock, everybody was expecting The Rock to show up at WrestleMania, and he didn't.
He didn't, and it left a bad taste in people's mouth because they felt like they were set up for this unbelievable storyline, and then the storyline didn't pan out like at all. So if you're going to redeem it, it has to happen at SummerSlam. You have to do something.
Yeah. We could get a double turn at SummerSlam involving the final boss.
I do think we will see The Rock again at some point. There's some people that I've talked to that are legitimately like, no, I don't think you're ever going to see The Rock again. I think him and Triple H had a falling out. I think the final boss is gone forever. I don't buy into that.
He's still on the TKO board.
I think that the Rock is still very much a part of the WWE. And when he does come back, all of these real world problems that people like to latch onto fit the final boss gimmick to perfection, because that is what the final boss is. The final boss does not give a fuck about anybody or anything except the final boss. He can come and go when he chooses and do whatever he wants.
Yeah. And I think you're right, though. He has to show up at SummerSlam. And if he shows up at SummerSlam and Cody Rhodes turns heel on Cena and thus sells his soul to The Rock, I feel like that makes up for The Rock not being here. I feel like that right there would be the way to get people to be like, oh, so that's what this was all about. Because if Cody Rhodes can't beat John Cena, Cody Rhodes then has a legit reason to finally sell his soul to The Rock.
And all The Rock would have to say is, I never wanted Cena's soul. I wanted Cody's soul. Cena
Yeah.
was just a tool to help me get Cody.
Exactly.
I used him.
Because eventually Cody is going to sell his soul to The Rock. It's going to happen. Will it happen at SummerSlam? That remains to be seen. But I do think that that is the ideal place to bring back the final boss, to do a double turn. And if they do want to take the title off of Cena, you could have Cody Rhodes beat John Cena at Survivor Series at the first ever Stadium Survivor Series show. That kind of is, I'm okay with that, man, because then in John Cena's last match, he can go out on top because he doesn't have to drop the title and lose.
Yeah. I
But
don't know.
man, it gets me excited. It gets me excited,
see.
and we're only a couple of weeks away from SummerSlam, Payton.
It does feel weird that SummerSlam is like 2 weeks away.
Yeah. And yes, I do plan on having a SummerSlam panel of content creators. So the vision, the idea, friends of the WellsMania podcast as well. Getting you on here, getting Jared on here, tag team twinning. Maybe Aiden Achong if he wants to run wild, but that's kind of the vision that I have, is just getting a nice Brady Bunch picture going on and having us all run wild on the biggest episode of WellsMania of all time. So I really hope that you are able to be a part of that. It would probably be the week heading in to August, because SummerSlam is August 2nd and August 3rd. So if all goes according to plan, maybe July 30th is the day, or somewhere in that week leading into SummerSlam. That is the idea. So Payton, hopefully you can make time in your busy schedule to be a part of that, because
maybe I'll just show up unexpectedly like the final boss. You don't know.
That would be funny, man, because the cool thing about StreamYard, shout out to StreamYard, by the way, WellsMania powered by StreamYard. And the only place that you can watch and listen to WellsMania podcast is on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to the WellsMania YouTube channel. The cool thing about StreamYard is I can have guests chilling backstage. So like at the beginning of this episode, it was just me, and then I brought Payton on. So I do send the invites out to whoever my guest is for whatever episode. So that episode, Payton, potentially you could join at any given moment.
Mm-hmm. I'll show up at the end and just
exactly.
Do the throat slash, stand here ominously and just do this and then leave and be like, what the fuck did that mean?
Was that Payton? Was that Stone Payton Productions? But no, man, I am very excited for SummerSlam. This summer is definitely hot. Stay cool out there. I know you're here in Indiana. It has been very humid. It's been very muggy. All these damn corn flies have been. Have you seen all the corn flies? Oh my God, man, they're everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were. My wife told me that they are corn flies. I didn't know what a corn fly was, but now I do. I know exactly what those damn insects are. But all right, man, before this is now officially the go home portion of this episode. We're coming up on an hour and a half. But it's always fun to have you on, always fun to run wild and talk wrestling with you. Before I let you go ahead and plug. Oh, one more thing I got to ask before the go home.
Yes.
What's going on with Wrestle With This? Because I've had so many people reach out to me and ask, when are we getting the next episode of Wrestle With This?
The next episode is in production right now. Like you'll get it within the next probably 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's just been a hectic schedule. Not a lot of people know this. You know this. I have been dealing with a pretty bad shoulder injury. So that has.
Have you gone to the doctor?
I have not gone to the doctor.
Come on, man.
I'm waiting on the doctor. I've gone to the chiropractor. He's been working on it.
Be careful with that.
But I've been dealing with that. And then just scheduling. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but it takes more than just me to get these episodes done. Like if schedules don't align with the matches I need to book, there's going to be no episode.
Yeah.
If you can't show up to perform as Megamondo and this next episode needs Megamondo on it to tell a story going into Slamboree, and we've already laid it out, these next now 5 episodes are the road to Slamboree. We don't have room for filler here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you will get them when things work out. I don't.
Speaking of that, I do have a son coming in October. So if you definitely want to book me for anything, get me in ASAP. And I know that you're not saying that I'm the reason why that Wrestle with
no,
this
that was the other people's schedules and then other people life events, and it's like it is difficult to do, but when these episodes do finally drop, I want them to be enjoyable and I want it to be quality over quantity.
Yeah.
That
approach.
And all I can do is promise people you will get them. There might be gaps in between the episodes, but Slamboree 4 will come. And when
hopefully before October.
And when it does happen, well, the thing about that though is even when you have a kid, we have the capabilities with Wrestle with This to be like, hey, we're gonna film at 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I live so close to you that it's literally not that far of a drive. I can go knock out the match for a couple of hours and then come back.
I'm not necessarily too worried about you with Wrestle with This bookings. Now, you doing like live shows and stuff, I think that'll take more of a backseat.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I'm pretty sure my last live show will be you versus me, Megamondo versus Stone Payne down in Brazil, Indiana on September 20th.
And I cannot tell you how badly I hope my shoulder heals before then, because I want that match to happen so bad. It's gonna be a big match. You and I have told a decent story the last couple shows we've been to at Signal 10. I know that you and I have discussed different ideas and match types for this match on September 20th.
There's the graphic. There's you are on the poster, and then there's Megamondo on the poster. Crossroads Collision. It's a free show. Ladies and gentlemen. And it more than likely will be my last live show for the foreseeable future. But yes, go ahead, Payton.
You know what I did? Now, obviously, we gotta run this by the booker of Signal 10. But I did have a fun idea. What if you and I we'll do it in private first, come up with like 3 different options. What if we allowed the fans
to like where this is going
to vote on the match type that we have at that show September 20th?
What is this, like Cyber Monday?
Yes. What if we let them pick how we get to beat the hell out of each other in this match?
I'm all for it because you know me, man. I love being as interactive with the fans as humanly possible. And there's no more better way for the fans to get involved in this match, to be the ones to dictate what the match will be.
Yes.
I don't think the promoter will say no to that. I
mean, obviously we would have to do it. We give ample time and let him know, like, hey, we're going to get the match type. Like, it's not going to be like the week of the show. We would get it done way in advance.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
thought that
hell,
would be fun.
open it up. If you are still watching, thank you. God bless you. In the comments section below, what match types would you like to see Mega Mondo versus Stone Payne have at Crossroads Collision in Brazil, Indiana, Signal 10 Wrestling on Saturday, September 20th. It's a free show. Let us know in the comments below what style of match I'm talking about. A ladder match, a TLC match, a no holds barred match, a street fight.
Let them throw matches at us. You and I will then pick, like, let's say 3 of the ones that make the most sense, and then we would have a vote out of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea.
There are some match types, obviously, that could not be done for purposes.
like a Hell in a Cell.
You know, but I think that would be fun if the fans could pick how we get to beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah, no, I'm all in. I'm all in on that. Crossroads Collision. It's a free show at the Route 40 Fest Saturday, September 20th, Signal 10 Wrestling, Brazil, Indiana. Showtime is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, you can go to www.signal10wrestling.com. Mega Mondo versus Stone Payne live in person. And people have really been enjoying our feud. People love our friendship. It's kind of weird, man, because on the lives we're enemies, but in Wrestle With This, we are kind of on the same page. So
I don't know. There will always be a beef between Stone Payne and Mega Mondo.
Yeah,
this is how it's always going to be. There's always going to be that tension there.
It's like John Cena Edge, or John Cena CM Punk. It's one of the greatest feuds that I have ever had in my 7-year wrestling career. Versus you. So.
There is a mutual respect, but at the end of the day, I don't think Stone Payne would hesitate to slap the monkey mask off your face, and I don't think you would hesitate to give Stone Payne an attitude adjustment.
Dude, it felt great giving you an attitude adjustment in the Ultimate Rumble. It felt great.
Yeah, and by the way, I saved your ass, and then you tossed me from behind.
Yeah, well, every man for themselves.
Yeah,
Every man for themselves.
Whatever, Hulk Hogan.
Well, here's the thing. In Mega Mondo's mind, he knew that you were going to do that at some point in the match. So he figured, why not be the one to initiate it first and to eliminate you before you can eliminate him? That was the mindset that Mondo had.
In the words of Jesse the Body Ventura towards Hulk Hogan, I think it's very similar. I feel like you would attitude adjustment your own grandma to get to the top. You just don't want people to know it.
I don't know. Now, on that note, this is finally the go home for episode 184 of WellsMania Podcast. Payton, go ahead and plug all of your social media and anything else that you want to get out there. Go for it.
Stone Payne Productions all around Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, especially the TikTok. That's where the backbone of the content is. All the lives and stuff are on there. So go and hit up Stone Payne Productions.
Stone Payne Productions on the road to 10,000 followers. Payton, thank you so much for running wild with me. And people have missed you, man. They're like, when's Stone Payne coming back on WellsMania? Yeah. This episode, fully loaded, over an hour and a half of entertaining, underrated content. So thank you, Payton, for running wild with me. Be sure to follow me at WellsMania literally everywhere. And yes, like Payton, I am also trying to get to 10K on the TikTok. And just keep in mind, every time that you follow me on TikTok, or every time that you go to brainbustertees.com and you buy my merch, or if you even book me on Cameo, every time I'm on a TikTok live and you send me a gift, all that money that I'm making is going to my son. I can't express this enough. I have made it a goal. I am determined to make my wife a stay-at-home mom for the better of our family and our son, who is coming this October. Little Cena Wells coming soon in October of 2025. Hey, thank you all so much for running wild with Stone Payne Productions and WellsMania on episode 184 of WellsMania Podcast. Until next episode, take care, stay positive, run wild, and dominate the day.